Hello and welcome to the Sweat of the Farmer and the Game Design, where we craft the perfect meta simulated and Excel sheet accurate salad avocado. This is episode number 38. There is no meta. I am the lone name gamer as the Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for joining us in this episode. This week we craft our own meta with blackjack and hookers. You know what? Forget the meta.
Yeah, forget it! Burn it down! On the deep dive we have today the effect of simulation on theory crafting and builds, the complexity of crafting your own build in World of Warcraft, and in general, of course, how do we fix M plus or mythic plus premades or PUGS in World of Warcraft, and is the bane of Warframe Rivens? So, the effect of crafting and build crafting in World of Warcraft, and in general, I will say, right?
Yeah, but I wanna.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanna start this discussion by, like I put a link to a video by Dratmus.
Yes.
Which is one of the big content creators and like top Mythic Plus players.
Yeah.
He has amazing guides in Mythic Plus, padding and stuff like that. And in this video, he's talking about how stats work in World of Warcraft right now.
Yeah.
And how unintuitive they are.
How unintuitive. Why they say that? Are they not like related to what they're supposed to be related or something like that?
No, they are. It's just that the way that they scale and that they interact with one another.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
Oh, give me an example.
So,
or does he give like what kind of example does he give on the video?
No, he gives examples, but the basic idea is that in current WoW, the more points you have of one stat, the less valuable those points are.
So they bring you diminishing returns on the points value.
Yes,
for reasons.
Because no, it's not for reasons. It's because the stats multiply themselves. So the easiest one to think of is haste and crit.
All right. Yeah.
So let's say that you have certain point of crit.
Yeah.
And certain level of haste.
Yeah.
Like at some point, putting 1% more of crit compared to 1% more of haste will give you less DPS. And the reason why is because basically the extra DPS that you get with the percentage point in crit.
Yeah.
It is like it is more important to, at some point, it is more important to hit faster so that you can crit more. So basically that you can roll more dice on the crit than just critting harder.
All right. Yeah.
And the other way around, like if you have a lot of haste, you're gonna be hitting a lot.
Yeah.
But and let's say that you have crit at some point.
Yeah.
Like by increasing your haste, so by hitting more, you gain less DPS than by, in some of those hits, having a better chance to crit.
All right, but does like I'm gonna ask you this. Those are like I always heard about those called like breakpoints, where you're supposed to get to be efficient to do X or Y.
Most classes don't have breakpoint.
Most classes don't have breakpoints.
Most specs don't have breakpoints.
No. All right.
And there are no absolute breakpoints because also it depends on your level which stats are more valuable to you.
Man. So all that interacting with ways, that's what you're telling me? Does the math make sense for you? You being a mathematician?
Yeah, the math is pretty straightforward.
All right. Okay.
It's not that hard, but it is counterintuitive. So, for example, it is never good to have too much of one stat, because that just means that in the big scheme of things, you have a limited pool of stats that you can put on. So by going super hard in one stat, you're gaining less DPS than by spreading it out.
That is weird. Well,
that is weird.
Yeah.
That is counterintuitive.
That is weird because you will think that if you specialize in one stat, you can like make a build work around that. And then you arrive to a build which is like super specialized to do a particular thing, but it should do the thing very good or very well, but apparently that's not the case because you're losing
for most classes.
For most classes.
But also corruptions, like that is just the base way that it works. Basically, WoW stats, like the way that stats multiply DPS encourages not to go super hard on one only stat.
All right.
There are punies that currently and asteroid traits.
Yeah.
And that just throws up a wrench in the whole thing. Because now with some corruptions, certain specs do want only one stat. For example, fire mages.
Yeah, they just want mastery,
They want mastery corruption. But that doesn't mean that it's just the fact that they want mastery corruption, and the corruption that they want is the one that gives them extra 12% on all the mastery.
Yeah, correct.
Means that each point of mastery, it just weights more than 1 point by the fact of all the corruption exists.
All right. Jesus.
So 1 point of mastery is more valuable because you have 1 point is not only 1 point, but 1.12 or 1 point something.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus.
So and there are a couple of those classes that have that. So fire mages are one with mastery. There are a couple of other ones that want that.
Yeah, because it's I was recently reading a guide about DPSing on the fire mage, and I was like, yeah, you want haste, but if you get these corrections, then you start wanting to get mastery, and then you leave your haste at a certain point. Something like that, right?
Yes, but that depends on your item level. That depends on the stats that you have. So all the guides that you read are kind of vague guides on how to do it.
All right, yeah. They say you should do X or Y, but if X or Y...
But that's a vague guide of what you should be looking at.
Yeah.
It's not written in stone.
All right. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So I'm bringing that to the table because that is a glimpse of how difficult it is to actually come up with builds in WoW. Because think how I know that you're not the biggest player that gets into theorycraft.
Yeah.
But think that you wanted to do your own build.
In World of Warcraft.
Jesus.
All right.
How would you go about doing that?
All right. So, well, I probably, yeah. I probably will
cry a little.
Yeah. In a corner. and think who is trying to torture me, but passing that. I'll probably let's take, I will say all right, let's take the simplest thing that is a mage, right? And let's take, all right, a mage. So it's an intelligence base class. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good. Now good. So, and then we take the spec that we're going to. So, all right, I wanna do a frost mage that does not do damage but keep everything frozen.
Let's see. Let's say that is a thing.
Let's say that is a thing. That they say that's my idea, right? That's my idea. That's what I want to do, right? So I go and see the kit of the frost mage. And I check all the abilities that can freeze or immobilize or do that sort of effect, right? And I will try to maximize the time that those abilities are up, or the time the effect lasts, right?
Yeah.
In this case,
let's say most abilities in WoW you cannot change the time that the effect lasts, but you can mess around with the cooldown.
You can mess around with the cooldown. All right. Fair enough. Cool. So if that's the case. Second, it is that I am imagining, or I am supposing, I'm theorizing that those abilities are dots, right? The freeze, like they apply a freeze or slow dot or something like that.
Those are different things, and they are not dots. They just happen.
They just happen, so they're an effect.
They're effects. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so if the only way that I can manipulate those abilities are cooldown, right?
Yeah.
Then I will try to go for like 100% uptime on those abilities.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So what I will do is like I will put everything on like intelligence to like keep the base high of the thing, and haste. Because I want to have like 100% uptime on those abilities.
Sure.
And I will get there and I will be a CC frozen mage. Not necessarily doing a lot of damage, but if I get to like, I don't know, 200% haste or whatever, how much it costs me to have those abilities like in almost zero cooldown, I will try to go there. That's how I'll be the way to go doing the build. Right? Sure, of course, yeah. if I find out that it's impossible, then I will stop.
It is that like the fact that you can probably not do that.
Okay.
It's a shame.
So I can't. Is it impossible to do that? Like,
I don't want to say that it's impossible, but I don't see it happening.
So you don't see it happening. All right.
Yeah.
There is like, of course, you have to think about it. Like, is there value? Like, is there value in having your mobs constantly frozen in World of Warcraft?
In PvE, probably not.
All right. Yeah. Correct.
There is an argument to be made for PvP. Because CC in PvP is super valuable.
So in PvE there is no point of like...
No.
All right.
No, for the most part, no, because also there are a lot of... I'm like, by PvE, I'm thinking raids and dungeons.
Yeah, and raids and dungeons, yeah, exactly.
Mobs in the world kind of don't matter at all.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But like, in Mythic Plus, there are affixes where you want to kite mobs around, so CCing them is not good.
Okay.
There are the raid encounters where you want to take the ads and move them to the bosses so that you can cleave. And not in all the cases, CCing is an option.
Yeah.
Not all the mobs can be CC'd. Like, there are a lot of mobs, enemies that cannot be crowd controlled.
Yeah.
So in PvE, it's probably not that valuable. There is a huge argument for PvP.
All right.
Because a lot of the hard-hitting classes, or most classes, have not that many mobility
to escape crowd control. Yeah.
So there are just a few, like one of the most valuable things is to keep someone CC'd.
Yeah.
Like chain CC them.
Yeah.
Which you've seen is a thing.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So there's an argument to be made that could be useful there.
There you go. So it's possible. I just want to be like super PvP frozen mage to keep somebody still for forever. Investing everything on haste to the point that how much haste can I have? Like that would be the next question.
Yeah, but the question is, how viable is that kind of thing
in PvP
or in PvE? Let's say that you do it. Let's say that you go for a full-on haste build.
Yes. So I should have like almost constant uptime on all the slows and freeze that I have.
As much as you can.
Yeah. So
how far can you really go? Either in PvP ranking or pushing keys or...
Well, I imagine that in pushing keys and raid, not that much, because for that kind of specs, they want more DPS out of you. So
yeah, because you're a DPS guy.
Yeah, but in PvP, you just get somebody who hits really hard, and then you crowd control the other two persons, right? If you're playing Arena 2 2v2 or 2v3, or even like in a 3v3, right? You just like...
It could be... I haven't heard of that being a thing.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Yeah. Or if you like constantly crowd control the most important target, like the healer or something like that, so they can kill it faster.
I'm saying that is not a thing. I'm saying that I haven't heard of that kind of thing.
All right, yeah, fair.
So, yeah, but like...
What?
Well, just the fact that you can probably not get away, like you cannot get to real high level content with that kind of build, which is it's a good idea. Like I love that idea. But you cannot get to like high level content. Let's say in what I consider personally 2 out of the 3 main things to do.
Yeah.
That means that you're losing a lot of stuff to...
Yeah, the fact that you cannot like get into like raids or mythic plus because you can crowd control everything. Apparently you don't want to, and there is like mobs.
Sometimes you don't want to, and sometimes
there's
just killing
mobs that are
stuff
immune, which is like well, now I'm useless basically.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's disappointing.
That is disappointing, and that's how I have felt about
because what they like the builds, quote unquote, in World of Warcraft. I feel it's difficult because there is no builds in what, as I see it, there is no builds in World of Warcraft because you have a specs.
No, there are builds in World of Warcraft.
Well, there are builds in World, like at first glance, I'm saying like it could be builds in World of Warcraft, but it feels like you don't need builds in World of Warcraft, quote unquote.
No,
right?
you do need builds in World of
Let
Warcraft.
me finish. So I feel like there is no builds in World of Warcraft because you have a spec. So you're like, all right, you do damage. Cool. Or you do.
I
do damage.
don't get what you're saying.
Like because all the classes are divided in specs. I feel there is no builds in World of Warcraft.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
All right. When in other RPGs, when you are doing a build, you generally think it first in what the job of the build is going to be. Right?
Sure.
Yeah? So you say like, yes, you follow me?
Yes and no. I that is one way of doing RPGs.
Yeah.
You're being too narrow.
Probably I am, but like I'm setting an example. Like that's why you don't feel in a first class that there's builds in World of Warcraft.
I completely disagree with that statement. Like 100% disagree with that statement.
You 100% disagree with it? Like big part of the builds is deciding what you're gonna do with your class.
I disagree with that.
Okay, why?
Because a build is about doing what you're supposed to in the most efficient way.
That is a build for you. Yeah. But like part of the build is deciding what you want to do and then doing it super efficiently. That's two different things.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Deciding what you want to do is not part of the build. That's not a part of building anything.
No?
That is making a decision.
All right. Fair enough. Anyways, so what do you consider an actual build? Like, what do you consider an actual build? Like,
I mean, the fact that you need a specific pieces of gear that contribute to specific pieces of your kit.
Yeah.
So that you can use them in the proper way.
All right. So there is no decision in builds in World of Warcraft, is my question. Like, if you have a fire mage, does the fire mage has more than one build?
I don't know what fire mages. I know there are some specs that have a couple of.
I know that there's like some builds for the activity that you're doing.
No, there are specs that have different builds.
There are specs that have different builds beyond like the like because I I only play warrior. So as I see it, there's like in DPS warrior is like you have like a
no, let's look here. You don't play warrior. You play fury warrior.
I'm sorry, I play fury warrior. So in terms of fury warrior, it's like you want this gear for Mythic Plus, and you want this gear for for raids, and you want this gear for PvP. But like in terms of the overall thing, that how it plays and what talents and that sort of stuff, they almost don't change in any way.
Sure, but that's
right? So
one spec.
Do you consider what?
That's one spec.
Yeah. So do you consider builds? Is that considered a build because I'm changing priority gear between one activity and the other?
Yeah.
All right.
There is a single target DPS build and there is a AoE DPS build.
All right. So and that's
but even outside of that, there are certain specs that have different builds for the same objective. You want to put it that way.
Okay, so
Fury warriors are not example.
Fair enough.
These monster hunters are not example.
Okay, maybe I'm taking it wrong. So you know, I think you know more about like how the others classes work in World of Warcraft.
I mean, not really.
All right. So what is the true complexity of doing the builds in World of Warcraft? Beyond like actually having to sim whatever you're trying to do because the math and the interaction between the stats are weird, and you need a second like pass trying to do a build.
You need what?
What?
What did you say?
What part?
What was the last thing that you said?
That you have to simulate to do a build.
Sure.
In World of Warcraft.
I mean, you don't have to. It just makes things easier. You don't have to.
Yeah, because the math is weird, right? Or like the interaction between the stats are weird, as we previously said, right?
Yeah.
So clearly there's not a easy, straightforward way to like do a build, technically speaking, in World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, no, that I agree with. Is it easy? No, I don't think so.
but my question will be like, if there is a diversity on builds, I think it's fine. How complex or how not complex is something else different, right?
Oh no, the point is not. The point is not that. It is
that it's too complex. It's too complex to make a build from zero.
It is too complex to the point that you're quote unquote, and not everyone does that, but like quote unquote required to simulate your out. And that brings on its own a lot of problems because simulations are not perfect.
Correct, yeah.
And if you have done simulations before, so you have a lot of like options to tweak and move around. And even with all those things, like for example, the simulations assume that you're lighting up perfectly or all your cooldowns all the time.
Yeah.
Which sometimes doesn't happen.
Yeah, which is not very true. Yeah, correct.
So, like my point is, it is so difficult that you're forced to do simulations, which I think is a cool thing, but I think works in detriment of how creative you can get, because you like at some point you kind of became a slave of the simulation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that at some point doesn't feel good.
All right.
It's like you're enslaved by the machine.
So is the problem that in World of Warcraft there is too many complex stats, or there are too many stacks affecting something? Will you simplify?
I mean, at least right now in BFA, yeah.
Will you simplify all that? Because like out of the top of my head, you have crit haste and mastery as the three big ones.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
Crit, haste, mastery,
and then you
versatility.
Then you have avoidance, you have leech,
Yep. You have movement speed.
You have movement speed. So
there are some.
Yeah. So is there more stats around?
No, but
and then you have intelligence and stamina and what is the other one?
Strength for you.
Strength.
I have agility. Some classes have intelligence.
So that's a bunch of stats. Will you?
But more than the stats is that like a lot of the complexity in BFA at least comes from how all the things interact. Because you have gear, you have hazard traits,
yes,
you have essences, you have corruptions.
Yes, it is insane. It's insane because when I see when I'm doing when I'm polishing my Fury Warrior, I can see a bazillion of things applying to one enemy, and I'm like, what in the actual? And all those things interact on top of another, right?
Yeah, but and I feel conflicted about that because I like the complexity.
Yeah.
But at some point, is like the fact that you can not read, for example, the descriptions of the asset traits and just know which one do you want to take. Because probably one that sounds the coolest or the one that sounds the best is not.
I absolutely agree on that. It was like, oh yeah. We were talking about that last time, when we were saying what the raiders were using on it, and I was like, I don't understand why they're stacking this thing, because this other thing is most useful, and this other thing looks like, but no, apparently it's like the numbers work, and you don't care.
I mean, they are the top players, so they must know what they're doing.
Yeah. Apparently the multiplications and the stuff work down there, so yeah. It doesn't matter how cool it could looks.
But that's but you see how that can be a problem.
Yes, because you have to check a bunch of stuff before making decisions about
and it doesn't feel good, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel good that you have to check every little thing.
Yes, that you are, because it removes agency from you,
at some point. I agree with that.
Yeah, and your decision to make cool stuff and to tinker with it. So, but my question is what is causing this? Do you think it's just BFA borrow power complexities, or is more about the base construction of World of Warcraft stats?
I wonder. I don't think I really think a lot of the systems in BFA are not helping out.
So you think it's a problem with the borrow power in BFA?
It could be, but at the same time, for example, there are a lot of classes that became viable with corruptions.
Yeah.
Or there are specs that are super dependent on essences to be quote-unquote endgame viable.
Yeah.
So, and that is not good, for example. It's not good that the base spec is not viable on its
without
own.
borrow power. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad because it should baseline. It should everything work.
Baseline, power. Yeah. All the specs should feel an each.
But that's a problem of balance. Then
that is a problem of balance for sure.
Oh, okay.
No one is saying that WoW is a balanced game.
Fair enough. All right.
But it's but even with the game being unbalanced, the fact that you cannot take a piece of gear, read it, and just know. You have a good intuition of, this is a good or bad piece of gear.
Yeah.
And maybe that is just because we don't have that much experience with the game. It could just be that.
Yeah, that is true.
But it doesn't feel natural some of the time.
Yeah, I'll take it. So, but then what is the answer? Do we remove borrow power? Do we balance the base specs? Do we make the top tier more clear? Do we remove weird interactions between the stats? Do we remove stats?
Balancing the base specs is always that is something going to be happening.
Yeah, okay.
That is not. There is no perfect balance between all the classes and specs.
Fair enough.
The question about borrow power is more difficult to answer. Because if you think about it, that's what a lot of times makes expansion feel like its own.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
So, for example, in Legion, there was the artifact weapons, which was its own
system, yeah.
Borrow power system thing.
Yeah.
In BFA, you have the bunch of things that we
you have
right
like
now.
5 things.
and in Shadowlands, we'll have the Covenants and the Covenant abilities and all those things.
Yeah.
Which will be borrow power.
Correct, yes.
So, but that is part of the flavor, if you think about it.
Yeah. Like,
so
personally, I don't mind. Like, if a guide is telling me to do X or Y and then the numbers are good, I'm happy. But maybe for theory crafting is a problem. Even if you like most if you want to do a specific thing, right?
I mean, I don't mind it in the sense that I will do it because I want to do well in the game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel as rewarding.
As doing your own thing? Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And like doing your own thing can at some point like and being useful in what you're doing or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's a reality of the game and that's it.
Maybe that's the point, but yeah. I don't know. I just want to check out.
All right. To close this thing is like World of Warcraft is complex to do builds and it has a bunch of things around it that makes it more complex right now with borrow power and everything else. And for me, I don't mind, but clearly for theory crafting or doing like your own thing, it creates problems. I think that's the thing. What they should do, I don't know, balance better their systems, make them more clear of how they're affecting the stats, make more clear what stats matters for what. That would be my suggestion. What do you think for closing this?
That's
Lucho.
I mean, balancing the specs and things, sure, but that is never going to be a thing. Like, there is no perfectly balanced game.
So. That is true, absolutely, yes.
So it's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I am so conflicted that still part of me loves the fact that you have to simulate it.
Okay.
I like that a lot. And I enjoy simulating like pieces of gear. Like, it's just satisfying.
It's cool. I know, right? I get it too.
It is cool. It is cool, but it also speaks about a problem, like a basic RPG problem in the game.
Yeah, the game is maybe too complex at this point.
Yeah, which is a good and a bad thing
at
the same time. And I'm always torn between those things. I love the complexity. I love the simulation. But sometimes I just want to see things and know what's good.
Fair enough. All right. How do we fix Mythic plus PUGS in World of Warcraft? Do we open a training camp to be nice in PUGS? Yeah? No? Maybe?
Maybe. I mean, you haven't PUGed much.
I have what?
How much have you PUGed?
I have PUGed like a couple of Mythic Plus, and I have PUGed like 5 raids run.
Sure.
Yeah, 5. I can count in my hand. 5 raids PUGs. A normal Eternal Palace. A heroic Eternal Palace. Mythic Eternal Palace. And a normal Nihilota and another 2 heroic and mythic Eternal Palaces.
How would Mythic Keys?
Mythic keys, I've done lower mythic keys always, and it's like super easy generally.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't poked high-end mythic keys because they never take me, so there you go. I don't know why you tell I should tell you.
Fair enough.
Tell me about it, Lucho. Tell me your struggle.
It is not my struggle. It is just that people are impatient.
Yes. Welcome to the 20th century. 21st century. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that is not the right attitude to do things. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So, okay, so to paint
to paint a picture. Yeah,
I'm gonna read the post that we have on the links.
All right.
So you know what I mean. So this person saying, like, just had a dungeon run where we were about to engage the last boss. 4 minutes left for getting a +2 on the key.
Mm-hmm.
Healer had about 25% mana left, and I asked if he needed mana.
Mm-hmm.
One of the DPS, the key host, decided to pull the last boss himself. Where then I replied, really? Then he said, healer is fine. Guess what? We didn't wipe on the boss and lose the +2. After we restarted and finished the key, still on time with a +1, I asked him why I asked him why he did that, and he decides to say, you were too slow, don't be a shitty tank next time, then leaves. Seriously, what's wrong with people? And that is a good summary of what pugging is.
Looks like people are impatient. They don't wait for stuff. They are not considerate with the teammates, and they blame each other. That's normal people, man. In public.
Sure enough, but like, sure enough. But for example, and like the point that this person is trying to make with this post is like that asshole DPS.
Yeah.
It's just giving shit to a tank.
Yeah.
Well, like, we all know that tank and healer are the core roles and when running a mythic class.
Yeah, yeah. Those two depends that the run goes good or not.
Yeah. So DPSs, who gives a shit?
Correct.
They are replaceable.
Correct.
So who cares about that? So with that in mind, like, and that's why, for example, a lot of people, because people are assholes, a lot of people don't like to tank.
Correct. Yeah.
Like hogging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people are just gonna be stupid assholes that know what they're doing.
Yeah, and they pull stuff when they're not supposed to, or like do all this random stuff, or they're not patient enough, and smash into a group, and then
you know what? You know what happened to me yesterday? I was pugging a 15, a Temple of Cetralus 15.
Yeah.
And we're on the last boss, you know, the one that you have to heal the
yes, correct.
snake.
The lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we healed the first phase. We were killing the enemies on the second phase of the boss.
Yeah.
And then the tank, like, we're still needed like 7% of, or less, like 5% of completion, like of bar completion.
Yeah.
And the tank just jumped out of the arena to pull the mobs on the bridge before the arena for that last boss.
Yeah.
And he went so far away that he resetted the boss. And we were about to time the key. like we had plenty of time to
do that after.
We had like 11 minutes
to do that after, to go for the rest of the progress after the boss.
We began that boss with 11 minutes.
Yeah, you have enough time to just heal.
That's plenty of time to do that boss on Tyrannical, which is this week.
Yeah.
Plus go back and kill the 5 enemies on the ridge that will give us completion.
Yeah.
So why?
Why?
Like, why would you mess up like an easy time on a 15? You know, like
you cannot fix that, man. How are you gonna fix people? The only way to do that is like put some sort of honor system on it.
And yes,
there you go. So you put an honor system on it, and it's like you have like, and then we can endlessly discuss the effectiveness of an honor system. But it's the only thing that kind of half works, right? You have honor systems in like League of Legends and Overwatch and every part of it. But the use of the honor system is up to the developers, right? How harsh or how not harsh you want to punish your players with low honor.
No. But you cannot punish players. That's not an honor system. Like an honor system is just about... It's just about being a 5-star player.
Yeah. But you like punish is not punish like you ban them or anything else.
No, you don't have to. But that's the whole point of having an honor system, and is that the game is not gonna punish you. The community is gonna do it.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like if you put up honor system, you open a lot of floodgates of people like. Trolling people, like a content creator, that sort of stuff. Of like punishing, like if you went out of bad terms with a players goes out of bad terms with a guild, and then that guild decides to like crash his honor, and now he's not allowed to do a bunch of stuff. He will not be accepted in a lot of PUGs. That can be a solution. Like if you PUG and then you say like only 5-star honor players.
But think about it. Like for example, you cannot get in PUGs that easily right now.
Yeah. Because
of your rating.
Yes, correct.
Which is, by the way, something that is completely external to...
Yeah, outside of my control. Correct, yeah.
No, it is in your control, but it's not... Like the radar you're rating...
Yeah.
Is not an official Blizzard thing.
Correct.
It's completely a third-party thing, number, that everyone uses.
Yes.
Because of reasons.
Okay, so
imagine that on top of that, you have this honor system that could potentially make things harder for people to get into.
Yeah, because you'll be begging for honor.
You'll be begging for honor, plus the rating system is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So you will have them, and we talked about this before. You will have these people with crazy requirements of you need to have this much rating and this rating, this honor rating, and things that just makes it more difficult to PUG stuff.
Yeah. The other solution to that is just hiding everything.
Hiding everything.
Yeah, hiding like eye levels, hiding IO radar stuff, etc., etc. And then you just see people with like class. And what does he want to do?
That feels wrong as well.
There you go.
Because you still need some kind of criteria to filter out people. Let's say that you are the owner of a...
Yeah.
And you're...
Let me... So with that in mind, what it will be the gold standard to measure people to get into PUGs? What is the correct answer?
I don't know.
There is no correct answer. That's the point.
The correct answer is do not pug.
Yeah. Well, like in other ways, is a system that is, because it's a social thing. It's a system that is impossible to trying to correct.
Oh no, I know that.
All right. So how do we make it better?
That doesn't mean that we cannot nudge people in a certain direction.
Yeah, but it's like very, like, how it is very difficult to have like a semi-correct answer to that, because you either have to hide information or to put another system on it, or like do something else that I can be either ways of use or ignore or whatever. Because if the consensus of the community is that Writer.io number is your gold standard, well, that's gonna be the gold standard no matter what other system they put upon to. Right? It depends of the consensus of the community, of how you run them efficiently. Yes, right?
It definitely is the case, but that doesn't mean that there are no things that could be done to nudge people into, like, not fucking it up keys for other people, for example.
So I give you two examples, like an honor system or like hiding some of the information, then not everything. What will you do then?
So for example, I will punish people for leaving keys before completion.
Yes.
Because that is fucked up.
All right. But what about if you got example? What if you are a little bit under gear and the completion is taking forever and somebody just go AFK? You're trapped in that key.
Like if someone goes AFK,
yeah,
you can kick that person and that person should get punished.
What about if you kick somebody else? If you as a group kick somebody else because you don't like him?
That's
and
fine.
He's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything wrong. And then he gets punished unjustly because I don't know.
That's gonna happen.
There you go.
Yeah, but there is nothing you can do about it.
But then what happens if you get a disconnection because WoW is not the most stable game ever? Yeah. Or like,
I mean, the game probably can't recognize between just disconnections and being kicked or.
There you go. So if you're gonna punish everybody like that, but if you're not punishing disconnections, that people will just disconnect from the game if they want to dodge something, and then you're in the right as a player to, if you enter, you are absolutely in the right of the player if you enter a PUG and your team is not working. And you feel like you're wasting time because your team is not doing it properly, and you want to do it properly, and they broke a promise, quote unquote, that it was going to be faster, and somebody's making too many mistakes, then you leave because you don't want to waste your time.
I disagree with that because it is 1 out of 5 people. Like, one person shouldn't be able to fuck it up for 4 other people.
You don't know. Maybe two people are under gear.
That is not fair at all.
Maybe 2 people are under gear, and the third person are trying to like carry them, but they're taking too long. That's why the groups in World of Warcraft can be reposted in the middle of a run.
Not for Mythic Plus.
Not for Mythic Plus, only for raids?
No. Yes.
You have to cancel a run in Mythic Plus? Are you sure? Yes. Cannot get like a feeling in Mythic Plus?
No.
I thought you can.
No, cannot.
I thought
it locks everything.
It locks everything. All right. You
cannot even change gear.
That I know, yeah. I know that you cannot change gear.
No, you cannot like if you start a Mythic Plus key, you cannot invite people into that instance anymore.
Fair enough. Anyways, but that's the thing, right? If you're like, or if you have something if the run is taking too long and you have something to do in real life, then you have to leave.
Sure, but then if you have to leave, you know that you're gonna be punished. like It's like things in life. Like decisions have consequences.
So you will just punish people for leaving Mythic Plus. That will be your solution.
I mean, that is like you have no idea how many people like do the first boss, have a wipe, like one wipe in the second boss, and the tank leaves, for example.
Yeah.
And that fucked up the key for the rest of the team.
Yes.
Because wiping one time in one boss, that doesn't mean that you're not going to complete it.
Yeah, but... So?
Yeah, I'll punish the people that leave.
You punish the people that live, and will that fix it?
I don't know if I'll fix it, but that's what I'll do.
All right. How will you punish them?
Not being able to join.
So a time down,
for
a timeout, cool down.
Timeout, yeah. Couple of hours.
What if he does it couple of hours?
Yeah.
Jesus. Even for a disconnect or something like that?
Yeah.
Couple of hours. Wow.
I mean, at least an hour.
At least an hour.
Usually a mythic run is something between 20 minutes and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So an hour sounds fine.
An hour for a disconnect.
I would.
What you was set to do. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
But like you don't punish a disconnect, because if you get disconnected, you don't get kicked out automatically of the group.
Yeah, but you have like a time before you come back, right?
Sure, which is a reasonable time. Like,
but then my question is, what is the value of finishing a run? If
the loot that you get at the end,
besides the loot, what is the value of finishing a run after the time has run out?
It still counts for your weekly chest.
Yeah, but if you already did that and you're looking for just finishing on time, then what is the point of finishing it?
What do you mean?
That's my question. If you don't need the loot, and if you don't need the completion of the chest for the weekly thingy, you're just looking for time completion.
Sure, again, but that is one person out of a full team. Like, again, one person shouldn't be able to fuck up the key for the whole team.
So that's your main gripe, that one person shouldn't fuck up.
But of course it is. Like,
all right, fair enough.
Like, do you think one person should have the power in a 5 people activity to fuck it up?
No. Yeah, that sounds unfair. Yeah.
No. That's the whole point. That's the whole fucking point.
Then if that's the obvious thing, right? Why hasn't been action taken? If the Mythic Plus is the Mythic Plus system that young? Yeah.
Mythic Plus became a thing in Legion, I'm pretty sure.
So it's pretty young. Well, young, yep. Quote unquote. It's like 4 years of it. No, yeah,
that's
2 years.
Really new. Yep.
4 years of it.
Yep.
And that's new.
That is new.
No. I mean, I'm thinking in reaction and development time. This is a big gripe.
It is absolutely new.
If this is a big gripe, why hasn't been done? What you're saying, like. Is it not vocal enough? It's not as big problem as you think it is?
I don't think Blizzard cares about that.
All right. Does the player base care a lot about it?
I think they do.
So do we need to be more vocal about it to make the change happen? There you go.
Maybe. I think it's important. I think
fair enough.
That kind of thing could make pugging less of a hassle.
All right, cool. So I think for closing this is like something has to be done, because exactly what you said, like one person cannot fuck up an entire experience for other 4 person in something that is instant and locked and has all these conditions, right? And they should be punished because of doing that. Like, and we have a way to differentiate between like a disconnect or not. But even so, if you get disconnected, you should be punished, right? Because if not, people will just start disconnecting because they're not being punished as much.
There are gonna be edge cases that they suck. Like,
yeah, but they're like not
power went out in your house.
Yeah, but they're not the common. That's what I mean. They're not the common.
Yes.
Yeah, it will still happen. Like, even if you punish people with that long timer, there will be people in PUGS who just says, "I fucked up this," and they will close the game and go out and do something else for the.
I'm not trying to have the perfect solution. Like, the point is not to solve the problem; is to try to.
Yeah, but that's a good. That's I agree with you. That's a good. That's a good first step, or like.
At least it'll discourage a little bit people from just. Because I feel like the mentality of a lot of the players is like, "Oh, we wiped once in the first boss,
so this group doesn't work. I will go out and search for another. Yeah, search for another group. Yeah.
And it's like, not necessarily, give it a chance, and maybe they're just learning. They're learning up.
Yeah, or whatever. Or somebody make a mistake, and
I don't know. It's probably those 4 people need the loot. Like, it's just
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, maybe this is. I think for closing is like, maybe this issue needs more attention.
I think it does. I don't know if Blizzard cares, but I think it does need attention.
Yeah, fair enough. I will take it. Any other closing statements for this?
No, Lucho? Just be nice. Don't leave PUGS in the middle of everything.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Don't be assholes.
And for our last topic, the bane of Warframe are Rivens. Is the Riven system a problem?
I don't think so, but people like complain about it.
I don't think so either. Like I see, like, first of all, Rivens are super random of what you get.
That is part of the problem for
that
some
Rivens
people.
Are super random. But there is no activity in Warframe that forces you to use a Riven. You can do everything in Warframe without even touching the Riven system.
Pretty much, I would say so.
So in that sense,
yes, but
at least for me, like if a problem is not fundamental breaking your gameplay progression.
Yeah, but some people feel like they need Riven, which is not true.
Yes.
but like, if people feel that way, you cannot just dismiss how they feel.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You cannot say. I mean, all I'm saying is, if people feel that way, you cannot just say, "Oh, fuck it, you're wrong."
Of course you can. That doesn't mean that you're right.
No, you cannot. That closes all the doors to have any meaningful discussion about the system.
All right. Again, I feel as a game designer that the Riven system is just like a super endgame system that gives you a little bit more power on places. But it's not necessary for the majority of what you do in Warframe.
It's not necessary. The problem is that it gives you a lot of power.
It gives you, yes, I've seen some like crazy Rivens, in places. Yes.
Yeah, that is part of the problem. That is, it gives a lot of power. But I agree with you. You really don't need it to do any of the content.
Correct. In a reasonable pace and being efficient, you don't need Rivens to do the content.
But they have a lot of power in them.
They do. But they are highly random, and they require a bunch of resources to make work sometimes. And then you can roll it a bunch of times, and those resources are costly too. So to get to that power is generally very, very difficult. And it's not like, again, it's not that it's gonna like make you a god, right? Like, it's not that it's giving you an unfair advantage against the other Warframe players who doesn't have a Riven. It's gonna be, you're gonna be a little bit more efficient, but it's not gonna break anything. That's my point. It's not breaking anything.
Sure, but like in that sense, nothing is gonna break anything in Warframe. There is nothing to break.
All right.
No, like infinite amount of power won't break the game. That's what you're saying.
Kind of, because the game is the game is built to be a power fantasy, so infinite amount of powers won't break the game.
I mean, there is an argument to be made for having too much power so that it trivializes the game. It is not a good thing.
Yes, that's what they do in hard mode, clearly. To put some challenge back into it.
Sure. But maybe the base game should be harder. Like, you shouldn't be able to stomp through a game.
Well, yeah, but that's the nature of Warframe, and I don't feel that it feels bad to... Well, you have like peaks of power, right, in Warframe, through your progression, right? When you get certain build together, when you level up certain things, when you get a bit right, when you find potatoes to maximize your power, blah blah blah, right?
Sure.
But the peak of power in Warframe, like when you get there, it feels fine for the majority of the activities that you have to do. And the challenge becomes of how you play, because everything is scaled. So even if you have those Rivens that are super powerful, at some point, everything in Warframe is scaled so much that they're gonna stop you.
Sure.
And the dynamic is different. The dynamic is how you manage the enemies, or if you're doing the activity correctly.
But you're never gonna be fighting those enemies, really, realistically speaking.
Correct. Yeah.
So those enemies don't matter at all.
Those enemies don't matter. All right.
Like, you're not gonna be fighting the ones that can stop you. So then they kind of don't matter.
All right. So then the thing is, like, when you have no rivers, you still are super powerful, and then when you have a Riven, you're still super powerful, but the difference between one and the other is none. Yeah.
I know, but that is a that is a different discussion. Like the discussion is not, the question is not, should the whole game be harder?
Yeah.
Maybe. That is not the point.
Yeah.
The point is,
should Riven not be as powerful? I don't see, like, honestly, I don't see a problem with it, with Rivens. Like, I don't see
how much.
All right.
How much did you engage with Rivens?
How much did you what?
Did you engage with Rivens?
Nothing. I've sold all my Rivens. I haven't kept one Riven. My Rivens is my way to do platinum, basically.
Isn't that a problem?
That Rivens are a way to do platinum? Why?
No, that you didn't engage with the system.
Because I haven't found one that I find interesting in the list. All it is has to do with any of the things that I use.
You sold a lot of them without unveiling them.
Yes, I did. Yeah, correct.
So you haven't really engaged with the system?
Nah. So, because I don't find it necessary for the...
Sure. Isn't that a problem?
Is that a problem that I don't engage with the system if I don't find it necessary in my pursuit of power in Warframe?
Isn't it a problem in the sense that it is a system, it is a path of progression, like endgame progression.
Yeah.
that a lot of players are not really engaging on.
Because I feel like it's not for every player.
But it's still one of the quote-unquote endgame systems, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I feel I feel like the system is good for super endgame players in Warframe. Those who want to like squeeze, like, because the system is so great and so random that unless you have a lot of time in playing Warframe and a lot of resources and a lot of investment on that particular endgame, you won't engage on that system, which is fine. You don't do all the systems for all the players.
Yes and no, but then you can argue that it is a waste of time to put up like development resources into a system that most people are not going to engage with.
But it's the same argument of like why you do high end game systems when the 10% the only the 10% of your players are engaging with them.
Sure, fair, but like the idea will be that you will still the players will still want to engage with those.
Yeah.
The barrier is not motivation, but how hard it is to get there. But if you don't care about the system, that seems like a problem to me. Because those
I don't care. Like
things.
I personally don't care about the system is a problem.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, not you personally, but like,
all right.
Like if that is, like if the community feels like that, your player base feel like, who gives a shit about that endgame system?
Yeah.
Then why do you even care? Because those are different things. Like one thing is, okay, you have a system that only engage 10% of the player base.
Yeah.
But people still see it as the thing. So mythic rating in WoW.
Yeah.
A small percentage of the player base gets to do it.
Correct.
But it is still seen by the community. Oh, that's the pinnacle of rating.
That's the pinnacle of what can you do in World of Warcraft. I see what your point is. Right. All right. Okay.
And you care, we follow the mythic.
Yes. We do care about it.
We care about rating.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not mythic raiders. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's not in our goal. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But we still acknowledge, and then we see mythic raiders. We say, okay, that is the thing.
Yeah.
And in that regard, we care and we somehow engage because we're still informed.
Yeah.
That's my argument. If there is a system, like an endgame system, in which the community feels like you, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Isn't that a problem?
That the system is not attractive enough to be aspirational? Yeah, that could be a problem.
Because it is too random, because it is too grindy for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my point. Maybe it is a problem in that sense. I don't see a problem with the Rivens system.
Yeah.
But I did engage with it, and I like it for what it is. It is a completely long-term goal of I'm going to get Rivens, I'm going to open them slowly, sell some of them that I don't want to open because the challenges are just a pain in the ass that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I'll open some of them, I'll gain some good ones, I'll farm resources, but it's definitely a long-term goal for me.
Yeah.
I still engage in it, and I feel super nice when I get one that is cool.
Yeah. So you find the system rewarding in your own experience.
Yeah,
but for me, it's not necessary. Yeah, I know what you get. Like, it feels like the Riven system is not rewarding enough to be aspirational as compared to an in-game system like raiding.
It's missing something that. And like, I'm not saying that the Rivens should be the rating of Warframe.
I know, yeah. The comparison is weird because they're all two different things, like super different things. But like the feeling of what an in-game system is kind of like
even if you're not gonna engage with it, the fact that it is kind of there and like you care about the system if people don't care, it's kind of why then?
Yeah, but then the question: how? So you feel like the big majority portion of the Warframe community don't care about Rivens at all?
Oh no, I feel like the community cares.
So the community does cares.
Yeah, this discussion was just about you, not caring about the system.
It was about me.
Because you brought it to the table. You just said that you don't care about it.
I don't care about it because I feel like I got my enjoyment out of Warframe, and I get my enjoyment of Warframe not engaging with that endgame system.
Sure, and I'm saying that maybe speaks wrong of the system on itself.
Maybe, but
that's all my point.
But you have to look at the big picture and see if the community is fine and cares about the system, then it's fine. Like
the thing that I don't know is what percentage of the community cares, because what I feel is that the people that do engage with the system, have a lot of problems with it, and the people who don't engage with the system just don't care. Like they are you. They don't give a crap about it.
Yeah, fair.
But a lot of the people who engage with the system have like a lot of fundamental problems with how Rivens work. The fact that you don't know what you're gonna get, that is super random.
Yeah.
That is extremely grindy.
Correct.
And that it somehow warps the platinum market because it moves a lot of currency.
It does. Yeah, correct, yeah.
And for better or for worse, a huge part of the Warframe community likes the trading game, and that's what they do.
Yeah, they trade in Rivens, yeah. Will you have to, like, I think the answer is not on us. I think we don't see a problem with it, even if I don't engage on it. I don't find a problem that it exists and people engage on it. But then in that case, you will have to see the numbers of the community, right? You have to see how efficient it is.
Like, for example, if it were a little bit less random, would you care about engaging with it?
How less random? Give me an example.
So, for example, right now you get rifle Riven.
Yeah.
What if it drops for a specific weapon, but the stats are still random?
Like you will get the veil, but it will be like it will say Riven veil for this weapon.
Yeah. That removes some of the randomness.
Yeah, of course, because you will know exactly if you want to keep that or not, and if it would be interesting or not for you. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Maybe.
What would be
like if I already know that it, like, of course that would be more interesting if I get like a veil ribbon for a weapon that I like, for one of the weapons that I like, 400% I will keep it and I will try to unveil it. That will guarantee that I will engage with that system.
Sure. I know. I personally think that's too much.
All right, fair enough, yeah.
Because what I enjoy from the system is the gambling aspect of it. Like you go, you complete the challenge, and it is super exciting to see what weapon and what stats.
Yeah.
But that is my personal opinion. What would be the minimum thing in your case to engage with the system?
I think I would probably like more sources to get them.
Fair enough.
So I can roll more of it if that's the case. If it's like, that's one way of compensate for all the randomness, is like giving you more rolls of it. Or I like your solution of like that the ribbon says what weapons or it is for.
I think that is too much, and that is still random because you cannot target really.
Yeah, you cannot target, but at least you're clear of what you're getting and you're not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it's removing too much randomness, and I like the randomness, but
yeah. So would you like more sources of it?
Sorry?
Would you like more sources for Riven? And the way to do it and the way to do it will be like it will be like closer to the pin. The way that will probably do it, if that was the answer, I'll probably do it like the way of the pinnacles in Destiny 2, where you get.
Oh no, please no, that's so stupid.
No, let me finish. When you get when you put the extra sources of Riven in the last activities that you want your players to do.
Sure. The problem is that Warframe has. No, you have, like, for example, where would you put them?
Like if what is the new activity on Warframe right now?
There is a little new activity to farm one of the new Warframes, but none of those activities, like a lot of the activities in Warframe, are not endgame-ish.
Yeah, or events. I'll put it in events, in like high-end level events, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like for example, in the Crimson thingy that we were doing last time, the fleets with the thing, I'll probably put it as a reward or in the vendor of that event.
Yes and no. The problem is that event was designed to give your canes, not Rivens.
I know. But I will put like as a random event.
Sure.
If I was gonna give like extra.
The only problem that I see with put it in more, like giving you more Rivens, is that you have a limited amount of space for Rivens.
I know. Well, if you give more, then you will expand the storage of it. Clearly.
Yes and no. Like,
I know that is a sort of platinum, like expand that storage.
Yeah. So
it will encourage you to if you're getting more Rivens, it will encourage you to like move them in the market or like to expand your storage.
Maybe I fear that it will feel more pay to winish than fair.
But I think like in conclusion of this thing is like we will have to see the numbers and how overall the whole community engage with the system and if it's healthy or not, and then look for solutions for it.
I'm completely sure that at least the vocal section of the community, they don't like that it's so random.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that they dislike the most, that it is so random and so grindy.
Yeah.
Because re-rolling until you get the combination of stats that you want is a lot of resources that you have to dump into Rivens. And that's something that the community like. I don't get why, because you're not supposed to. Like,
yeah, you're not supposed to, yeah.
That shouldn't be the sole purpose of your gameplay. Shouldn't be
I know.
farming Kua to reroll.
And remember, there's some things people don't know what they want.
I know that, but
so that's why I prefer to like see other numbers and the engagement and everything else before.
You know what I think would help?
What?
You know that Rivens have this position.
Yes, I know.
I think that should be changed more often, because it is not.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So like what meta weapons are in Warframe changes pretty fast.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
And Rivens are too slow to keep up.
To react. That could be. That could be another thing that could be fixed.
That will help, maybe.
There we go.
Yeah. So many thanks.
Yeah. Anyways, now we move to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, you wanna contact us, you can write us an email to the official The Sweaty and the Farmer and the Game Design Gmail account. You can send us messages on our personal Twitters. There's no problem at that. Or you can pass by my stream. Or you can, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can leave the comments down below. Or you can pass by my stream and ask questions there. So the first question that we have this week is, what is the most difficult thing about maintaining a live service game relevant?
Live service game.
Yeah, so I'm talking about World of Warcraft, Destinies, Division 2s.
The ones that are like PvE heavy, getting out new content
at a good pace. Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, good, but that good is relative to
the game. Yeah.
The game. And if it is a PvP one, in my opinion, probably keeping a healthy competitive scene.
I will absolutely agree with that. I think that the important thing is like the good pace of the content that you're giving, and by this point, in the now, how you filter and listen to the community that you're fostering in your live service game. But
that's probably true for all the games, even if they're not 2E live services.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. And our next question is, next Diablo 3 season is starting soon. If you could change one thing about Diablo 3 to make it more attractive right now, what it will be?
Change the 3 for a 4.
Change what?
Change the number 3
to 4? That is it? There is nothing else?
for as much as I love Diablo 3,
yeah,
and I do love the game,
yeah,
I think people just need, people just want to move on.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's fair.
It's fair.
I don't know. The Diablo 3 was not designed to be like a live service game.
Yeah.
So it is probably hard to change the fundamental structure of the game.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
yeah, just move on. That's what Lucho said. I think.
I mean, at this point, probably.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. If there will be one change, maybe. Probably like key modification on the greater and the GRs and the greater race. Probably that will be it. That will give like a fresh approach to what fundamentally Diablo 3 is right now.
Fair.
Yeah.
They should make everything more random.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And that's it.
That's it. That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into the Sweaty and the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at LuisGPolanco.
And I am the Long Name Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at TheLongNameGamer, and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LongNameGamerTV, where I stream Mondays to Fridays. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. If you're in YouTube, click the notification bell and send us a kiss. If you're in the 100 listening platforms that we are, put a stars or recommendation or whatever the platform says, and send us all the love and help us and do everything social that help to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time. Bye. And did you know avocado trees do not self-pollinate? They need another avocado tree close by in order to grow. Avocados are an Aztec symbol of love and fertility, and they also grow in pairs. So there you go. Avocado trees are super romantic, just like hipsters wanted.
California produces 90% of the U.S. avocado crop. The avocado star of California is San Diego County, which produces 40% of all the California-grown avocados. And in summer of 2017, more than 3 million photos of avocado toast were uploaded to Instagram every day.
Jesus, why so many avocado? Now I know why hipsters come from California. It's just an avocado effect.
Yeah.
Is the avocado will be the official fruit of the hipster, right?
Probably.
It's not surprising that it comes from California. Like that makes. Andres, do you like avocados, Lucho?
I love them.
Do you have like avocado toasts?
I have had it.
Yeah. Do you like
but
it?
It's good.
Do you think that avocado is better in soups than in toast?
I don't think it's better. I think avocado is always good.
Just avocado is always good. Fair enough. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, they're good. I was indifferent to them, but like I did grow more of a taste for it.